Hello everybody. Welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all doing fantastic. Hope you're all remembering to take care of yourself and that you're all having a great day. Don't forget to leave a like. It is a free and easy way to support the channel. And without any further ado, let's jump right into it. We are currently in a it's not a limbo. The word limbo is not correct at all. And almost like a period of stasis. I don't know. It's hard to really explain it. So I've been going through the news and I've been looking around. And the last 2 weeks, for whatever reason, we've had a lot of weird price fluctuations. So we've had a situation where Bitcoin was at 97,000, it went to 103,000, it fell back down to 90,000, it rose back to 107,000, fell back down to 96 or something like that thousand. And a lot of the attention began to shift. You could feel the energy. I'm sure it wasn't just me. It began to shift in the direction of altcoins. Specifically like the top tier altcoins, if you will. A lot of the news and rumors, if you haven't been seeing it, it's not even rumors. A lot of the news has basically been, if this is your first cycle, you probably weren't here for the other ones. If you've been here for 2 or 3 other cycles, what historically tends to happen is Bitcoin rushes up in price. Got it. Then Bitcoin ends up falling a tiny bit in price. And what people believe happens, or what has happened previously before in the past, is something called alt season, altcoin season, season of the altcoins. I don't know what words you want to put there. And it's basically where Bitcoin's dominance, not price necessarily, but its dominance on the cryptocurrency market begins to fall. So we will normally see Bitcoin have a dominance of around 30 to 40%. This ends up rising to 45%, to 50%, 55%. Maybe you get around 60%. And then for some reason, whatever the actual reason might be, Bitcoin's dominance begins to fall in the market as mathematically altcoin prices begin to rise comparatively to Bitcoin. That's the thing that we're always talking about, and you've seen some of it in the last month or two as well. You'll see Bitcoin go up by 7% in a day. Altcoins will go up by 18%. You'll see Bitcoin has nearly doubled in a certain period of time, and then you'll see in the news, this coin went up by 700% in 3, like that kind of thing, which is apparently what we are currently in once again. So as feelings, sentiment, emotions have shifted, not against Bitcoin, but more in favor of altcoins, the news has once again taken a bit of a turn, as the expectations are at the time of me making this video that within the first, hear me out here, these are the expectations that within the first week of 2025, we will see Bitcoin's price rise, but the dominance level of the altcoins will rise higher, which will then give birth to the next 3 to 6 months. It depends on what your metrics are. It depends on who you're following on Twitter. It depends on what charts you're looking at. The next 3 to 6 months will basically be alt season, like to a, dramatic degree. That is to say, over the expectations still are that until October, November, December 2025, we will have a bull run. However, it's expected that the next half of the first year of the next year, we are going to see altcoins basically begin to surge in an unforeseen manner, in unforeseen ways that are going to basically benefit everyone who's been buying up altcoins, who's been accumulating them over the last 2 to 3 years, and basically everyone who got them at a cheaper price. That's the generalized idea. All eyes are on January. Not some of them, all of them. Between the Fed becoming more hawkish, interest rates being a gigantic matter of interest, US debt making it into the forefront of every single kind of news that I'm finding. Stock markets hitting brand new highs, the stock market falling by 15%, the increased amount of volatility in everything. And then the continued expectation. If you've somehow missed the last 4 weeks of videos, I'm not sure how you did it. The expectation that in January, February, and or March, we are going to expectedly hear officially that the US is going to be using or buying or accumulating Bitcoin as a reserve asset. I don't know if you peruse around on Twitter much. There's news that, what's this woman's name? Kathleen Turner? Carrie Shrug? What's her name? The woman with the hair. Simba. No, I got it. It's Cynthia Loomis. Okay, I got it. Yeah, that's her. Apparently, she has drafted a bill, and that apparently is going to be the bill that's going to be voted on after January to establish a Bitcoin reserve in the US of A. There's also, I forgot this guy's name. His name I can't even try to remember. On Twitter, he's one of like the head crypto personalities. You know, like one of those rich people who kind of like popped up out of nowhere and everyone's like, oh, he's rich, let's follow him. Like that kind of thing. He also, Dennis? I don't remember these people's names. He wrote something on Twitter recently where basically he shared a screenshot of what looked like a Bitcoin reserve proposal, and he wrote, guys, it's happening, or something like that. So rumors behind the scenes are that it's being worked on, and we kind of just need the final go ahead and signature. And then basically one of two things is going to happen. This is exactly what's going to take place. We are going to walk down two different roads starting in January. We are either going to see that the US is not going to create a Bitcoin reserve in January, February, or March, or that they plan on doing it later, or that they do not plan on doing it at all. If this happens, we are going to see a bit of a large pullback in Bitcoin's price and in the crypto market. And by the time we get to March or April, a lot of that will have been forgotten because we will still be in the world where ETFs have accumulated over 1 million Bitcoin. Other countries and companies and institutions who were not even on the reserve bandwagon will see cheaper prices, and they'll continue to accumulate more. And we will probably get to, by October, November, December, a $200,000 to a $250,000 Bitcoin. We will probably see an $11 XRP in Cardano. We will probably witness all new highs for Squirrel Coin and Bat Coin and any other thing that people are throwing out there. We will have a spectacular bull run, but it will be based off of the trauma of not having gotten what we thought we were going to get, if that makes any sense. People will still complain. People will make $1.8 million. A lot of you will make $400,000, and you're going to be angry because you thought it was going to be $1 million, not realizing that you made $500,000 doing jack diddly squat. The other road that we are going to walk down is going to be far more dramatic for a number of reasons. Well, the other scenario is basically we hear that the US is going to create a Bitcoin reserve. We don't know if it's going to be in January, February, or March, or April, or May, or June, July, August, December, but we know it's in the works and it's going to happen. We are going to see other countries begin to panic, as I've stated before in another video, because we are going to see the country that has been holding up the world reserve currency basically announce that they are going to be spending billions of dollars on something other than the world reserve currency, and everyone's going to completely lose their minds and buy as much Bitcoin as possible. I saw a lot of estimates stating that after this announcement, we would probably see by the end of 2025 a $300,000 Bitcoin. And I sat there scratching my beard because I was like, I'm not sure how delusional these people have to be. We hit a $100,000 Bitcoin just based off of the idea of scarcity and other people buying. If we hear that if we all collectively hear in Kumbaya that the United States is buying 1 million Bitcoin, we are going to see $1 million Bitcoin price by the end of 2025. Debt levels are going to skyrocket. People are going to do whatever they can to continue to try to front run the United States in their purchase of Bitcoin. And then something dramatic is going to happen. We are going to see a huge shift in the dominance levels of Bitcoin versus altcoins. Bitcoin's dominance level will probably reach around 75% within the market. And we are going to see a rapid clear out of the worthless altcoins that we've been seeing created over the course of the last 10 years. I've predicted this for a while, but now it seems to be more of like a thing that's going to take place. I said a number of years ago, I think we're realistically in the future only going to see around 10 to 15 different altcoins actually like being in play. I think other garbage ones will exist in their own manner. They'll, be used back and forth by people who want to use Monero, who want to use Dash, like that kind of thing. But it's mainly the coins who have like made partnerships, who are working with central banks, who are having discussions with other countries, that kind of thing. I think that's going to be the rest of the market. This is my prediction, at least. If we hear the US announce we're buying up Bitcoin, this is going to happen. If any of you missed a lot of the other videos as well, it's not just, so this is it's difficult to explain, but it's also not. The United States is rumored to be starting their own Bitcoin reserve. That is the US as a whole. However, individual states also want their own Bitcoin. So we've heard from Texas, we've heard from Pennsylvania, there are rumors of New York, we heard from Florida, there are rumors of Arizona, and I think Ohio was also one of them as well, who are like drafting, creating, making legislation right now. And I want to say, regardless of if, I think if DC, Washington, D.C. does not say, hey, we're also, we're having a reserve, I think other states are still going to jump onto it, because realistically, the path that we've been on, I understand the word's not blindsided, but looking at something shiny in the corner and fixating on that one thing is similar to when we got the ETFs. Everyone just focused on the ETFs, except for missing the part where other companies and corporations and organizations and governments had already been buying up Bitcoin for the better half of a literal decade. So even if we don't hear that they're making a reserve, other states are going to make a reserve. If we don't hear that the US is going to make a reserve, other states, other countries, other people, other companies are going to continue doing it. It'll just take us another 4 extra years to get to $1 million Bitcoin. So, I mean, not to rant or whatever, but this is just, there's so much going on, and I don't want anyone to lose focus. I notice always that when prices go down by a bit, it sends shivers through the market because you haven't been here for that long. And it's not like I'm a professional. It's not like I am this kind of oracle who knows everything that's going to happen. It's more of it. You wouldn't understand. I wish I had made a chart since I've had this channel, since I've been in this market, how many crazy dips I've seen. I've seen Bitcoin go from $700 to $1,100 to $8,000 to $20,000 and fell back down to $3,000. People grabbing their hair, running around the streets and screaming, just pure agony and sadness. And then Bitcoin goes back up. We hit $40,000, $50,000, $70,000. Everyone's elated. Bitcoin falls back down. Everyone's in a panic. I've seen all these things. So like, it doesn't really do anything to me. It's just more of a waiting game. And this is what I think perplexes and annoys a lot of new people in the market. You'll hear, and you've seen your friends who've been in this market, prices fall by 15,000 and you're waiting for them to message you because you want them to have the same panic, and you get the text, hey, did you buy the dip? Did you buy? Because it's all that kind of like, we know at this point. We know that prices aren't linear. They don't go up forever. There will be dips. There will be movements. There will be sad days. There will be happy days. But if you keep it, this is from my vantage point, as I've kept accumulating, I've seen my holdings increase. I've seen the money go up when the market goes up. And it's kind of the only word of advice that I can actually give to people. It's just, if you're here for wealth, if you are here, someone wrote something similar to this on Twitter, and it was one of those situations where like I literally wanted to stand up and clap. He wrote something along the lines of like, everyone says they want to make money, but when you realize how scary it is to make money, like people leave. You want to make generational wealth, but you don't know what it entails. You want to be able to brag to your friends and show off to other people, and you want to do all these other things, and you want to have a yacht, and you want to have this. But when you realize that it might take you 3 years of intense sadness and depression and heartache as you see prices go down and you're the things that you bought into not doing well, 99% of people don't want that. You don't want what it really takes. Some other celebrity, I think this was years ago. It must have been like 10 years ago. I'm pretty sure it was Steve Harvey as well. I remember seeing him on TV, and he was saying, people come up to him and they go like, you did it. Like you found the secret to success. And he's like, no, you don't understand how many like rejections I got, how many times I was told no, how many times I had filmed the TV show that didn't go through, how many times I had filmed, spots in a movie and they were like, yeah, like we cut out your scenes. You don't get how difficult it is to make money because you only look at people on social media, on TV, all these celebrities, and you go, why is that not me? It can be you. You just like, you don't understand, like there's pain involved in all of this. There's a huge amount of pain. You sit here for years. How many times have we gone over this on this channel? How many times have I like sat here and I'm like, you can hear when I have bad days and we sit here and we talk about it. And I'm like, listen, if you don't trust in the market, if it's not for you, you can leave. I've said it countless times, and I think people think I'm being cynical or whatever. I've told you before, I'm like, if you don't like my channel, if you don't like the way that I deliver stuff, if you don't want me to tell you real news about what's actually happening and what's being accumulated by whales and by companies and institutions and countries, but you want to hear about the next big toenail coin and all this other stuff, then, the X is right there. But if you want real news that's going to be sad some days, where you hear that this coin's price went down by 15%, where there is a lawsuit, where there is this trial and tribulation that we all have to go through, then this is what you're here for. Because at the end of it, and this will only become clear. This will only become clear to you after you make a lot of money in this market. It'll all be worth it. That's literally it. You'll see that everything that you went through was worth something. But walking through the mud and having stones thrown at you, it doesn't, you don't get it in the actual moment. So for those of you who are still here, like, golf clap. Like, really though, you don't understand, like, you have the fortitude and the strength to go through what billions of people do not. I told you how many times? My friend, he got his father into crypto. Prices, this was a year ago. Prices fell down by 8%. His father liquidated. He sold. He was like, what happened to the market? Why is it going down? And he was like, because markets go down. Yeah. But I was losing money. It's this fear that grabs people. And it's anyway. Attention has shifted massively over to altcoins. Just because historically this is when we start to see the shift, and it lasts for a number of months. In some of the most popular news that we have gotten in a while, speculation is abound. You must have seen it as to what is going to happen to XRP, to Ethereum, and to Cardano nearly specifically. I don't see people talking about Solana as much anymore. namely because from the algorithm that I'm getting on Twitter, I see a lot of people kind of annoyed with Solana. There's also a lot of like larger personalities as well talking about like stop focusing on meme coins, which is another thing that we're going to get into at some point. But it's mainly like the larger coins, and I'm only seeing 3 that keep popping up over and over as to the expectations for them over the course of 2025. The discussion of how much you need of X is also popping up. The idea, I can't imagine what the new number is. The number that we knew for Bitcoin was 0.28. I really do assume that number is far lower right now. The number goes lower how much Bitcoin you need to be part of the 1%. Based off of the accumulation levels of other people. If other people don't have it and like a small group of people continue to accumulate a lot more, any small amount that you have ends up being worth a lot. Same exact thing for Ether. I'm seeing a lot of people being like, if you own 5 Ether, you are set for life. I'm seeing the same thing for Cardano popping up as well. And of course, one of the most popular coins on the planet is, of course, back in the news. Someone by the name of Ido Farina, CEO of Alpha Lions Academy, recently shared compelling insights, they say, on the significance of holding at least 1,000 XRP for long-term success. This goes way back. This is actually some like 27. This news is recent, but 2, this is back from speculation all the way back to 2017. As far as we know, and from what we've heard, I don't follow him, but he pops up every now and again. The CFO, David Schwartz, the guy from Ripple, he has written on tweets but times before that XRP is basically meant to be $1,000 a coin. The idea basically being you're able to move smaller amounts of XRP and have extra liquidity in the market the higher XRP's price goes. Why it goes back to 2017, it's based off of the rumors that Bitcoin maximalists were creating and lying to other people, basically telling them that XRP had to be as low as possible for the coin to have any value, which doesn't make any sense. The higher XRP's price goes, the easier it is for other people to get in, the higher the liquidity is, and the less you basically need to move larger amounts of money. One of the numbers that was thrown out there years ago was $100 per coin with, I don't even, like, this is such a long legacy. Long story short, people came to the idea, and there's been so many charts, there's been so many references, there's been so many things, that $1,000 is kind of like the sweet number, like the sweet spot for XRP in the future. And with the recent launch of their stable coin, I saw that like several million were minted. I don't know. I keep seeing this over and over and over. Were minted. People think that in 2025, it's basically going to be the biggest rocket that we've ever seen. The stablecoin creates extra liquidity. As the stablecoin is used, XRP is burned in the background. The more XRP that gets burned, the less coins there are, the higher the price goes. We know that Ripple is going public. We know that there are, I think, two applications being filed for, and there's one for an XRP Solana ETF and one for just an XRP ETF. Grayscale recently launched their like a brand new XRP fund or something like that, which people think is going to get converted into an ETF. People are kind of expecting that around February, we're going to see the avalanche of applications beginning to roll in once Gary Gensler leaves. We've been given the word that apparently on the 20th of January, he's going to leave office, and therefore someone new is going to be put in, and they're going to be as crypto friendly as humanly possible. So the expectation of having 1,000 XRP and then eventually getting to a price of $1,000. This is reliant on every other thing we just spoke about and more coins being burned. Essentially, for those of you who've never done the multiplications, 1,000 times 1,000 is $1 million. In a video update, Farina emphasized that XRP's utility and adoption potentially make it a cornerstone of the ongoing financial transformation. In parallel, he urged investors to secure their holdings before prices escalate. Right now, the general sentiment is that XRP is going to go to $11 to $15. I don't see any discussions of $3 to $5 being like, okay, that's it, guys. It's a lot of people think that within the first 3 months, this is coinciding with alt season. People think within the first 3 months of 2025 that we are going to see a $9 XRP, a $7 to $9 Cardano, and I've seen anywhere from a $7,000 to $11,000 Ether. When Ether's price dropped the other day, people, I can't put it into words. People on Twitter literally lost their bananas. There were so many people who were like, I just liquidated my other positions in my meme coins. Ethereum has fallen way too far. I just put $5 million into it. Like and they all were writing over and over. It's that same kind of analytical thing where they're all like coming to the same conclusion. People think that by March, we will have a $7,000, $10,000, $11,000 Ether, which would also be fantastic because when Ether pumps, altcoins pump as well. The expectations are quite high. You don't understand, or maybe you do if you've been here before. People think the first half of the year is going to be bonkers, like absolutely completely insane for Bitcoin and for altcoins. And once again, those two scenarios also pop up, but this is just like really on the backs of the news that we've gotten that is solidified. Going public, stablecoin, ETF applications. Farina believes 1,000 XRP is a critical benchmark for investors aiming to capitalize on the greatest transfer of wealth in history that we've also been going over for a long time. Me and you talk about that at least twice or thrice a week. You need to understand that money is shifting very quickly, very blatantly, very rapidly into the hands of people who have assets. I saw something 2 days ago talking about corporate landlords buying up more homes than ever, because they understand that if they hold all the homes, they basically dictate what the rents are. The drop that we saw in the stock market, for those of you who also do not know, it is estimated that around 4 companies own around 30% of the stock market. Not sure if you heard my words. 4 companies own around 30% of the stock market. And you sit there perplexed and you go, how in the fudge could that happen? Well, if you start accumulating early and the dividends that you get from that, you basically loop it back around to buy up more of that stock and more of those companies and more of other things, you get richer. The dividends continue to pay out more because you bought more and you use that to buy more. Remember, this is, English. Side story. We talked about this before, maybe once or twice. Oh, I just hurt my ear. What the heck was that? Anyway, we talked about this once before. It's an old story of this guy who was a car parker, a valet. For this like very wealthy like banking company. This was years ago. He said in the 80s. And this guy eventually became a millionaire. People were like, oh my gosh, like you have such an amazing story. How did you do it? He said every morning he would park these guys' cars and he would say, I'm just a car parker. How did you become so rich? And he said eventually he became friends with one of the guys, and the guys would like actually give him like stock tips, not like insider trading, but was like, hey, we think this is going to happen. Like it should be in the news sometime later today. But he was also teaching the guy, he said, if you buy up these stocks and you simply hold on to them, they pay you money. And the guy was like, what? He was like, yeah, you use those dividends just to simply buy more. And so the guy was like, these guys were driving in BMWs and Mercedes-Benz in the 80s. He was like, so I listened to them. He started buying up stocks like with his actual paycheck. All the dividends that he got, he was looping them back into it. And in a couple of years, this guy became a millionaire. So like the news story was him when he was in like his 60s or 70s and how his family was like very well off and he taught his kids the exact same things. And he was like, it's just about time. Now imagine you come into the game with several $1 million and you throw it all into stocks. You throw it all into this is why I keep talking about crypto, like passive income. I think the general public and also people in crypto haven't gotten it. Like you really aren't understanding that this is going to be the way to make easy money in the future. If you like the thing we were talking about with staking your Bitcoin, for those of you who missed it, there are protocols being created. You to put your Bitcoin onto Ethereum or some other chain and you get paid out like for doing absolutely nothing. I think, and I'm certain someone must be working on this. If XRP ever creates some kind of like a staking mechanism, if you are able to stake your XRP on chain and you get paid out in their stable coin, it is game over for about 75% of the rest of the market. There's a reason why Cardano and Ethereum continue to do very well. If there's any kind of XRP staking, it is over for a multitude of the market. Anyway, it's a very long article. It was incredibly popular news, as you might have expected. The idea is 1,000 XRP. Who knows how much other people have? I know a lot of people have been accumulating for a while now, especially on this channel. There were a lot of people for years who were telling me that every month they were trying to buy several hundred XRP, whatever the actual number might have been. And that was when XRP was like 7 cents and 15 cents and no one else was buying. It all adds up. We'll see exactly what ends up happening to prices. Obviously, we don't have a choice. Time moves forward. We'll see what ends up happening at the beginning of the year. I am very optimistic for a large portion of this market, but as I've stated before, I think next year is going to be like complete insanity, like in a multitude of different ways. But as far as like asset prices, I think it's going to be nuts. I do hope that you've all enjoyed. I do hope you all are having a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever the heck you might be. I do hope it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.